no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken put 100 on the T's with the streak for the cash. ESPN, Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in. Pete Carroll, we see you.
Welcome to 32 Kings Road, hosted by the league ambassadors. I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and it is my pleasure to be here today with my brothers. This is our first show in 2018. Happy New Year. This is episode 40. Oh my God. Episode 40 of our second season. I wish people really stop saying that.
I really wish.
It's so annoying. It's not Happy New Year's. It's Happy New Year, folks.
You persnickety motherfucker. You couldn't wait to say that.
This is episode 40 of our second season.
That was some persnickety shit.
And it's time for playoffs in the NFL. The real season is here. Even though they're down 10% in ratings, this is for all the marbles.
It's still better than everybody else.
It is still better than everybody else. Perspective. As a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. That's Twitter. That is Facebook. That is Instagram. Please visit our website, theleagueam.com. Also, check out our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. Shout out to Chief Diplomat Nick Blackman. Check out Diplomatic Immunity on our website. Let's get this show going. Red O, Happy New Year, brother. What you sipping on?
Happy New Year's. Sipping on a little Gentleman Jack just because we're getting close to the end times, and you know, just got to keep it relevant. But I'm really sipping on that Cali Kush. Roll that shit, light that shit, smoke that shit. It's legal, baby.
It's legal, baby.
Puff, puff, pass, homie.
We toking away. Dad, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. New Year, new me.
New Year, number 2.
All you dusty motherfuckers are the same.
What you sipping on?
Well, I wasn't going to sip on anything because I'm a little sick. But I got a little windfall because, you know, I kind of lost my phone on New Year's. But I found it. So, little Jim Beam action here. But what I'm sipping on is heavyweight boxing.
Okay.
And in March, we basically have basically a Final Four coming up. So already on March 3rd, WBC champ Deontay Wilder is scheduled to fight Ortiz. So that's definitely going to happen.
That's definitely going to happen?
Yep. And then to be determined, but a tentative date has been sent out there for Joshua to fight Joseph Parker.
Okay.
So that's for 4 belts. Joshua has 3, Parker has 1. So that's
Joshua has 4.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. So that's most likely March 31st, and then let's see if they can make the fight that we all want to happen. So it's
Wilder, Joshua, yeah,
tattletale time. Let's see what happens.
See, I can see Joshua playing them tricks, man.
I don't feel like
Tyson Fury out there too much.
Everything is set up, but I feel like they're going to try and stall that out. That's just my personal.
Because Tyson Fury's out there, that he gives them a reason to stall it out.
He gives Joshua a reason.
That's what I mean.
I'm sipping on Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen announcing that they are going to forego their final seasons of college eligibility and make themselves available for the NFL draft.
As they should.
And I'm saying that the Cleveland Browns should pass on both of them, is what I'm saying. They don't need neither one of them. Kev, Happy New Year, sir. It's cold, brother. I know it.
Listen, it is so cold in the B. I'm dressed for the occasion. Got my tea and my old granddad because I'm depressed, guys. I had my heart ripped out my chest on Sunday. So That's all you're gonna get from me. I'm drinking because I'm a Ravens fan. That's what life is all about.
Oh, granddad, Jesus.
It's bad.
Yes, it is.
Junior Blue, what you sipping on, sir?
I'm responsibly drinking this gentleman Jack tonight.
We don't believe you.
Yes.
But what I wanted to discuss with you guys is, before the game on Sunday, reports came out for the Raiders that they basically was going to offer the team to John Gruden to come back and coach. So they go out, and I was actually in attendance, and get blasted by the Chargers. And Del Rio gets fired on the field. And my question...
And announced his own firing.
Exactly. So, my question is this. They're offering a job to John Gruden.
Right.
And obviously, they're offering the team, literally ownership into the team. What happened to the Rooney Rule? If your number one candidate, which is John Gruden for the Raiders, accepts the job, any minority who gets interviewed,
It's just for show.
it's just for show. So, really, my question is, how do we fix that?
I don't know if you can fix that because I think the Rooney Rule has good intentions, but
Yeah.
some of it fails. If there was a team that you could excuse for ignoring the Rooney Rule, it would be the Raiders because they were the first to hire a Latino coach and hire a black coach.
Art Shell.
Yeah, so
Twice.
I think if the fixing is there should be exceptions, because that's fine. Like if I know John Gruden is my coach who has a history here, and I'm willing to offer him 80% of the team, I shouldn't get penalized for that because there's nobody mad because their black coaches aren't mad because they're offering John Gruden the Raiders job. Like they shouldn't get penalized for that because it's a special occasion. It's not like
Is there a party going on, Omar?
just saying it's different than special circumstances. That's what I
No,
should
you
say.
said
It's a special occasion.
it's party time, baby.
Right, and there's a point where it's like, okay, I understand if you interview 10 coaches and you didn't interview any of the prospective black coaches, then I understand that. But if you're the Raiders and John Gruden is like, nah, I'm coming on down, nobody's mad at that.
I think. Go ahead. No, you go.
I was
Jeff.
going to say, especially since you weren't going to fire Jack if you didn't have
John if he
in
didn't already have
pocket.
coaches in place.
Right. That's all I was going to say.
I think that I think to your point, to piggyback off of what you were saying, Omar, it's not that John Gruden is going to get hired, and it's not even really about the Raiders specifically. It's that so many times in the hiring process, and what the Rooney Rule wanted to address was that, like you said, 10 coaching candidates will get an interview, none of them will be black. And the Rooney Rule says, because they know what happens oftentimes, and this is with any job, if you actually go through candidates, you stumble on candidates that you otherwise would not have interviewed, and it's like, wow, they really are impressive. That's how Mike Tomlin got his job in Pittsburgh. That's how, who said it again?
I said in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, right.
At
So
34 years old.
So it's about creating the opportunity, and even in the Raiders' instance, because they still do have to go through with the Rooney Rule, a lot of times coaching candidates, you don't necessarily get the first job that you interview for. Once you start to interview, though, word gets out about you. And so for that black candidate, that coordinator, George Edwards or Steve Wilkes, for example, when they do this interview with the Raiders, whoever that person is, if they comport themselves well, then another team will bring them in, and they'll reach out to the Raiders. They'll reach out to that other team that complied with the Rooney Rule and say, how did he interview? Is he someone worth talking to? So that eventually you will. That's how that was Todd Bowles' experience. So I think even though we all know, and this isn't the first time this happened, the Raiders aren't the only one. In 2010 with the Washington Redskins, they knew that they was going to get Mike Shanahan. The Seattle Seahawks knew they were going to get Pete Carroll. So there are just situations where there are proven names that make themselves available. They expressed interest in the job, and it's reciprocated. But the Rooney Rule is still effective because you are still giving those candidates an opportunity to interview and to make themselves known for future jobs that may come open. Kev?
Well, to add on to what you said, I think back in 2003, the Lions had the same issue where they ultimately had to pay like a $200,000 fine for not going through with that process. And I think, Kenya, you made some great points. I think it's important to get, that exposure and get your name, on that table floating across these rooms. But in my personal opinion, I think they need to do away with the rule, because if from Jump Street, granted, yes, Mike Tomlin is the one person who got in through the door. But at the end of the day, if you're going to hire somebody, why put them through this dog and pony show for the sake of doing it, just so you meet your quota? We know that most owners in the NFL, based off what we saw this past year, have no interest in hiring a black coach. And when Tony Dungy, black coach, was interviewed about this thing, he said that he thinks just teams simply trying to adhere to the Rooney Rule is like kicking the extra point after you scored a game-winning touchdown. Like, why are we even here doing this? It's a waste of time, and I think that's something we have to stop doing.
All right, so we're on to our Brexit Boot Bag Award winner. Kevin, take it away.
Well, I'm glad I get to present this award, because it's we get to keep it in the family here. Me, as a fellow Johnson, is proud to announce that our award this week goes to Mr. Johnson Batamosi, if I'm saying that correct. He's number 29 for the New England Patriots, who last Sunday, Mr. Johnson was standing on the sideline trying to stay warm when a Jets player ran out of bounds toward the Patriots sideline, and out of frustration, which most Jets players and fans have, he spiked the football, and the ball came back up and hit Mr. Johnson Batamosi in the chin. So Johnson took about 2 or 3 seconds, I'd give him that at the least, before he reacted and decided that not only would he fall backwards, but he would fall backwards and throw his coat off like he was James Brown before falling to the ground and trying to draw a 15-yard penalty, which he was unsuccessful at doing. So during his post-game interview, a New England reporter asked him about the flop, and Batamosi stated, and I quote, "The ball hit me. I lost my balance for a second, and I tried to keep it. That's why, I got weak on one side." Batamosi was then asked to reflect on the accomplishments of that day, and he acknowledged the team's 13-3 record, their first-round bye, home field advantage, things that he attributed to his teammates, and then, of course, the flop. And his response to the reporter was, and I quote, "This was the best of 2016. He said 2016. So I don't know which was worse, the flop or the fact that he's about 370 days behind schedule, or that he did such a disservice for having such a great name. But for all of those actions combined, Mr. Johnson Batamosi, you are our Brexit Boot Bag Award winner for this week. Golf clap this dummy.
Johnson bad and bougie.
He doesn't deserve that shit.
Oh, man. Somewhere, some Belichick or Patriot cynic is saying that that's what they practice. Flopping.
It's the Patriot way.
You don't think they do?
Yo, that shit was crazy.
It's time for some football tea. Let's get to our hot topics, which we're going to hone in and focus in on 2 of the biggest issues right now in the NFL, and that is we've got some head coach openings, and then we want to talk about who we think should win the major NFL awards. We'll start with the head coach openings. And guys, the question I have for you, and we'll just go around rapid fire style, is we've got the Chicago Bears, Chicago Bears. They need a coach. We've got the Detroit Lions. They need a coach. We've got the Arizona Cardinals. They also need a coach. R.I.P. Bruce Arians. Great coach, by the way. The Indianapolis Colts. Andrew Luck. He needs a coach. Hi, Chuck Pagano. The New York Football Giants, as we know, they need a coach, and we've kind of already talked about it. Technically speaking, the Oakland Raiders need a coach.
Chucky coming home.
Question I got for you guys, though. Give me the best Most attractive head coach job opening right now in the NFL. Junior Blue, I will not start with
Thank
you.
you.
I will start with Kev.
Ooh, ask me.
I go with Detroit. If I had to pick a location out of all of those, granted the franchise is just a mess, but the roster, you have your quarterback, you have some talent on the offense, you finally started to develop some type of run game. Then you just improved that defense, and you got to go up against Aaron Rodgers twice a year. But compared to everything else that's out there, give me the Lions.
Redo, why is Chicago a better job than Detroit?
Can I speak on his though?
You can speak on
Because I think they're along with the Raiders. Their coaching decision has already been made.
Who
Word is Matt Patricia.
for Detroit?
Yep. That's why a lot of GMs aren't scheduling interviews with him. That Detroit has already chosen him.
Because Quinn, their GM, comes from the Patriots.
Yep.
So Patricia over
Vrabel?
McDaniels though? Over
I'm just telling you what the word is on the streets.
Interesting. Okay, so who's your? I'm assuming Chicago is the best job opening.
Of course. I mean, well, actually,
I want you to explain this with a straight face.
Whoa. Okay, well, anything's better than Arizona.
No, the best job.
I'm
though.
going there. The Raiders is already taken. Truthfully, the Raiders is the best job.
I said the Raiders is the best
Raiders
job.
is the best job. But it's
And
already
Detroit
taken.
was. I had Detroit second.
The reason why I don't put Detroit at 2 is because of
Matt Patricia is there.
thank you. But no, before that, the organization. I think when you have 2 of the greatest players at their position retire because they just are tired of that organization,
Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson.
then there's a problem with that organization. And I know they're trying to turn it around, but just saying, it has history of being one of the worst organizations in the NFL.
Okay.
So, plus I'm a homer. So
Just say that. You can say this 2 minutes.
Dev?
I agree with Kev. I think it's the Lions. They're the most ready to win, regardless of what anybody else on the panel thinks. They do have their quarterback, and I mean, let's face it, they missed the playoffs by. They made the playoffs last year. They missed the playoffs by a game, basically this year. So
no one says Indy with Andrew Luck.
hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
They don't even have a quarterback for sure.
Yeah. They got a pill and cokehead alcoholic owner. They don't have an O-line.
They had that when they won the Super Bowl, though.
True
They
story.
also had Peyton Manning and Saturday and He Who Should Not Be Named and Reggie Wayne and Edrin and all that stuff. So they had a bunch of talent. They have T.Y. Hilton is their best receiver. He is not taller than anybody in this room. And their O-line continues to get people beat up.
The worst job opening. Les?
I had the Cardinals.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
because they're headed into
I
a
agree.
rebuild. Like out of all there's building blocks in each for each team,
Worst thing to be is middle of the road.
and they're gonna have to tear it down.
Well, I mean, you got Chandler Jones, you got Tyrann Mathieu, you still have Patrick Peterson. I wouldn't say that the defense needs to be torn down.
I mean, that's 3 players, and
You have
Peterson's
David.
expensive.
You have David Johnson. You got Larry Fitzgerald, who's on the hooks to come back. To me, it seems like.
But that's a
like
year
you
though.
get the
That's
quarterback.
a year or 2.
Larry
though, at
Fitzgerald is how old?
He's productive. It's not even about age.
Okay.
Let's keep it real. It's about. But what I'm saying is that you plug in if they go and get a Kirk Cousins, even an Alex Smith, with what they have offensively. They have a high draft pick. I don't know that that's. I mean, to me, I said it was the Giants.
I think
Arizona.
I agree with the Giants.
Yeah, I think Arizona is much closer than the Giants are.
I would say the Giants for the simple fact that it's New York, baby. You get that job. If they don't hit on this, it's going to be another long 2-3
That
years.
same reason is why it's the best job. Like, it's the Giants. It's in New York. The location. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you make your name in New York,
So is
you
it
make
Chicago or is it the Giants?
No.
Omar?
I'm saying, like, it's a gift and a curse.
Uh-huh.
It's if you are that man, if you are that person, and you make it in New York, you are. What's my man? Bill Parcells. You know what I mean? Like, you're a legend.
Kev, worst job.
The worst job is by far Indianapolis. By far.
Really?
They had name one thing that you can bank on with that team roster wise. other than they wear white and blue jerseys? Next question. They're trash.
Okay, so who do you want for the Chicago job, Omar?
Matt LaFleur.
Who is it going to be?
DiFilippo.
You think John DiFilippo is going to... Is it Filippo or Filipino?
It's
Filippo.
It's Filippo?
It's a whole lot of
DEFILIPPO.
DiFilippo.
I definitely think an offensive head coach, a quarterback developer. Why not Josh McDaniels?
It could be, but I'm not sure if Josh comes to Chicago
Because
he might end up in Indy.
Yeah, that's why I had him going with Indy.
the Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah. I'm not like I said. I'm not sure if he's sold on that. I think he feels like he can have more control if he goes to Indy than he does because the way Ryan Pace had his interview, his exit interview, that not the interview, but the
Press conference.
he was shaking his dick the whole time. This is my show, baby. I'm running it. And I'm picking the coach. No one's helping me, and I don't know if Josh McDaniels is going to want to be second fiddle.
If you're Arizona, Kevin, what type of coach are you looking for?
I want a coach who can sell my best player, in my eyes, Larry Fitzgerald, and then a veteran running back, a quality running back like David Johnson, that we aren't rebuilding, that we just need, like you said, just fill in the quarterback position. Doesn't even have to be a new guy, just somebody, Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins, somebody that can just take us to the next level. So they buy in, Fitz comes back, Johnson wants to stay there long term. And I think, like you said, I think they can plug and play. They're just one piece away.
Who's the coach for the Giants, Dad?
Oh Lord.
Shermer.
Maybe. I mean, but they've gone that OC route before. I think whenever you go one way, you go the other way when you come back. I mean, they're looking at Wilkes. Somebody like Vrabel.
I had Jim Schwartz.
Whoa.
I don't know if Schwartz can handle
We ain't doing that.
Here's the thing. Wilkes is the dark horse because Wilkes is the one who actually has ties to Gettleman
Because of Carolina. Yeah.
That's Steve Wilkes.
I think if you're the Giants, you need, first of all, I think you need to realize, and I said this a few weeks back, they need to strip it all the way down to the studs, at least offensively. I mean, their money is what it is defensively, and I think so much of what happens in football, if you have a really good defense but your offense is bad, that defense is going to lose steam throughout the season. It's just which happened, and we've seen it time and time again. So defensively, I think they're there. I think you get rid of Eli. I think it's a rebuild on the offensive side. I think you need a program builder. If I'm the Giants, I'm making a play for a Nick Saban. I'm making the play for a David Shaw. I'm looking for somebody that is willing to rebuild the culture in New York. I don't think it's a team where you need a young upstart like a Wilkes or like a Mike Vrabel. I think because it is New York, you need someone with gravitas, a true leader of men.
But you can't bet on the Nick Saban thing again because he's already proved that he'll dip
Guess
out.
what?
Yeah, but but this is why. But again, but what's appealing? The guys like Nick Saban, same thing with Pete Carroll. You want to know that you're going to have influence and say on building a program. And because the defense is already set, which Nick Saban is a defensive coach, I think that's what makes it more appealing. Now, do you want the pressure and all of the heat of being
about
in
to
New
get
York?
his fifth title. He is a god in Tuscaloosa.
Tell you this, no one's talking about it, but let's not count out Josh McDaniels for New York. If they want a culture change, he's willing to do the culture change.
Yeah.
And he wants to prove that he can win in a high-pressure environment. There is no more high-pressure environment than the New York Giants.
Yeah.
He will build it down and break it back up.
And I think depending on how the Saints postseason goes, you may see Dennis Allen pop back up. Somebody's been on the block.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Les, tell us about that Dennis Allen juice.
He can stay right there.
Isn't that crazy how that works though? Somebody could be a terrible head coach.
Jim Schwartz.
But they get a coordinator position and then they kill it. And then people just forget about the trash that they put out there.
I'll say it again, Jim Schwartz.
Yeah.
He's a head coaching candidate, which is insane.
Well, I think the logic there is they say that they've learned their lessons from when they were coaching the first time. Maybe they went out a little bit early and then they get back to honing their craft. And it also
somebody like McDaniels because he was young and he was out the gate crazy. But somebody like
Denver.
but somebody like Schwartz.
Yeah.
Talking about knowing how the movie ends.
It's true, but he did a good job in Buffalo as a DC after that experience.
Which is why I actually see him actually being in Indianapolis before anywhere else.
Who, Schwartz?
Yep.
Being in Indianapolis, I think if I'm Indianapolis, if I'm Jim Irsay, I'm calling David Shaw and I'm saying, hey, David Shaw and Greg Roman, get Greg Roman to run the OC.
Not Jim Irsay.
I know, you're right.
And I didn't mean that as a slight to you. I meant that as a compliment.
All right, let's get to our NFL awards. 2 questions I have for you guys is we'll go down. We'll look at the Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and Coach of the Year. Who should win versus who will win? We will start at the top with the Coach of the Year. Kevin, who should be the Coach of the Year?
Who should be and will be
Okay.
is Rams Sean McVay. He brought no more 7-9 bullshit to the Rams. And I think they basically, he made you a fan from what I'm hearing.
No, stop it, Kevin.
Did you say 7 and out?
No more 7-9.
7-9 bullshit.
7-9
They was
bullshit.
hoping for 7-9 last year.
really.
Okay, anybody agree with Sean McVay?
Yeah.
Should be or
I say that he will be. As far as it should be,
I say he will be.
I say he will be as well. Everybody says he will be.
I think will be and she'll be. Should be.
I got Doug Marrone as a should be.
I had Peterson actually winning it, but McVay should get it.
So you got McVay should be, but you think Doug Peterson's gonna win it? Really?
That East Coast bias.
Wow.
17-9 and 13-3. We all thought they were going to be extra trash last year.
Yeah.
And 7-9 is respectable considering what we thought they were going to be.
Exactly.
To 13-3 this year.
I think.
But that's not my should be. My should be is Mr. Zimmer. Because I don't know who's
Mike
dealt
Zimmer.
with more. You lose your franchise quarterback last year, then you get Mr. Glass this year, Sam Bradford. He gets hurt.
Yep.
You pick a stud with Dalvin Cook. He gets rolling.
Yeah.
You lose him for the year. And guess what? You get home field advantage basically throughout the playoffs because we know what's going to happen in the divisional. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, man, I think he should win it. But I think McVay.
Yeah, I said Jacksonville's coach Doug Marrone. I don't. No one had Jacksonville at.
He does have the most disrespected quarterback on the planet.
Literally, which
we're gonna
get to that.
We had this discussion over the weekend. These 4 candidates that we mentioned, McVay, Peterson, Zimmer, and Marrone, I think this is the tightest coach of the year race because all of them are deserving of it.
Yeah.
If you strip it down to the bare bones.
My thing with Peterson,
Only one of them still has pimples.
My thing with Peterson though is people forget, but they were 5-0 last year, and they were rolling, and it came back down. The seeds had already.
But we didn't think they were going to be 5-0 last year. We thought they were going to be 0-5.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They went, and so I'm saying the seeds were already planted for him to do well, based on what they did last year. They just weren't able to sustain it. So, like a good coach should be. Came out this year and they built upon the success they started out with last year and
great
built
coaching
on
staff.
I think and a great coaching staff. I think Doug Marrone again. Doug Marrone. I think that Zimmer is a good call too because Zimmer, all juggling all of that with one eye is something. Let's get
Zimmer is about to get a job, so we're gonna see if he's really the coach.
Yeah, Zimmer's definitely
the coach.
Zimmer's the coach. Zimmer's been a great coach going back to Cincinnati. They loved him in Cincinnati. MVP, and I'll start this one off. I said it a few weeks back. I still maintain it. Antonio Brown should be the MVP because starting the season, Pittsburgh struggled. Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell. It took Le'Veon Bell a few weeks to get going. Antonio Brown hit the ground running. And even though he missed the last, I think, 2 weeks, basically 2 weeks of the season, I think his production, it speaks for itself. I think who will win it is Tom Brady. And to open it up to you guys, is there anyone that disagrees that Tom Brady will not win it before we get to the should-be's? Everybody feel like Tom Brady's going to win it?
I feel like he's going to win it.
Les is thinking?
No, I had Tom Brady.
Omar, ready?
I've been said it.
Okay. Now, who should be the MVP, Kev?
Tom Brady. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm going with the hometown kid, Mr. Todd Gurley.
Yep.
He was a part of I would say the other 50% of why the Rams succeeded this year outside of McVay. He burst on the scene. He stayed healthy. He virtually seemed unstoppable down the stretch. But again, I think if Antonio Brown didn't get hurt, this award was his. But it's got to go to Todd Gurley.
My only argument to combat that is he highly benefited from who's probably going to win the Coach of the Year. And although this is one of the awards that we talked about, the Comeback Player of the Year, Jared Goff.
First of all, you can't win MVP if you're not the best player in your own goddamn team.
This happened before.
You shouldn't win MVP if you're not the best player in your own team.
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald is the best defensive player in the league.
But I would,
and he's the best player on that team.
Well, you can be the best defensive player in the league and not be the defensive MVP.
That's because defense. but I'm saying he shouldn't win MVP because of that.
I think, without a doubt, Russell Wilson should be the MVP.
Russell Wilson.
Because he accounted for 98% of their touchdowns.
And that's not an exaggeration.
Insane.
That's a real number.
37
That's a real
of
number.
38 offensive
That is
touchdowns.
insane.
Russell Wilson.
He led them in rushing touchdowns. I think he led them in rushing. And
In what?
in rushing. What do you think I said?
I don't know. It wasn't Russian.
It wasn't. It wasn't Pittsburgh. But I mean, they didn't make the playoffs. But he had to be perfect every week.
For those of you that never got a chance to see Fran Tarkenton or Archie Manning play, this season gave you a glimpse of what they looked like watching Russell Wilson. I that's not a bad call, Russell Wilson. Who should be?
I had Todd Gurley.
Yeah, Todd Gurley.
I mean,
Okay.
2,000 combined yards, total yards from scrimmage, 18 touchdowns. He wins a couple awards, honestly.
For me, okay, so right, so should be, and I think also will be Offensive Player of the Year. I think it will be Todd Gurley.
It will be, yeah.
Amazing, yeah, and I think bar none, he's had a great season, and I'm happy for him because I was worried about him, coming to LA with the drop off that they had last season, and he played. It wasn't like he was hurt last year. He just didn't play well.
He LA'd last year.
Doing commercials, hanging out.
With Becky's and such.
He needed to adjust.
He led the league in yards from scrimmage and in touchdowns.
Yeah. Kevin, are you on the same boat with this? Or you got somebody different?
Wait, for
Offensive Player of the Year.
No, Todd Gurley. I'm going to Todd Gurley.
Should be and will be across the board.
Not should be.
Who's your should be?
I think Todd definitely gets it, but should be to me. I think the best offensive player in the league, without a doubt, is Le'Veon Bell.
Okay.
Hands down.
This season?
The dude.
Well, we're talking about this season, so think about that.
Yeah. But he's second in the league from yards from scrimmage. He played the same amount of games as Gurley. He set out that last game, but he's so much more dynamic. I'm talking about as far as he's the best offensive player.
Okay.
Position play to me.
Okay.
The dude trimmed down, got down to that 215. He runs people the fuck over. He crosses them up like Iverson. He catches out the backfield. He pass blocks. He does everything.
I thought you were talking about Gurley when you was just describing that.
And
No.
the only thing I would say to that is, with playing with Antonio Brown, with the emergence of Juju on that beat, and with Martavis Bryant,
He definitely put a little extra on that.
But we had this conversation. The Steelers, they fucking recycle 3 receivers all the time.
right, but the production, it forces defenses to have to play them straight up and play them honest. So he's not going against loaded boxes.
I will say this: you don't lose either fucking way. Like we are
talking about awards here.
Yes, but I'm saying though, it's like who should and who will. It's like they are both great, and I wouldn't be mad at either one of them winning.
Defensive Player of the Year, Junior Blue. Who should be your Defensive Player of the Year?
Aaron Donald for both.
And he will
Should
be.
be,
You
will
say
be.
he should be and will be. I definitely have him as a should be. 11 sacks, 5 forced fumbles.
Missed 2 games.
He missed 2 games. The Rams' defense was very different when he wasn't playing compared to when he did play. Dev, should be.
No, I have a should be and would be, and it's somebody different, Mr. Calais Campbell.
Okay.
For the simple fact
That's who I
that
think will be.
he made good players.
Yep.
Great this year.
Yes.
Yannick and Malik Jackson are both going to the Pro Bowl because of his presence. And the crazy thing is, this is the Defensive Player of the Year. He might not even be the best defensive player on his team because,
Him down.
Him down.
Him
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Him outside.
But-
Sleep.
I mean, the first game,
And don't sleep on Booyah either.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first game.
First game, he made his presence felt, and we're going to get to that later. But
Aaron Donald missed 2 games, right?
Yes.
He has 91 pressures on the quarterback. That's 25 more than any other interior defensive lineman in the NFL. It's also 12 more than any edge rusher in the league. He wrecked games solo. You can plan for certain players. He's the one defensive player in the league that just nothing you can do.
My only argument against him is that in years past, they've been solely a defensive team. They could lean on their offense this year. We cannot say the same thing about Jacksonville.
That doesn't take it away from him because now you can.
No. It doesn't. But
because he's still he's gotten better.
Who's impacting teams or a team more when their defense is on the field all the time because their offense is shit?
He has moved the quarterback off his spot more than any. Especially if you go to analytics, and you know I'm not Mr. Analytics. If you go to analytics, it's by far and away. Fuck you, Kevin. By far and away, he is. There's no one close to him.
Kevin was on his way to go to sleep when he heard that. It's like, what?
How many games did that defense win them this year?
Who's that? The Rams?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How many games did the defense?
All of them.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's because Aaron Donald has propped up that defense all by himself.
That doesn't make any sense. What you're saying.
It does because you named how many players in Jacksonville.
The thing about it
has
is,
more talented
they have
players.
more talent on defense than the Rams do.
Yeah, but Calais Campbell elevated their play tremendously. Malik Jackson
and Aaron
was
is doing it by
last year.
himself.
Yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with Calais Campbell for the same reasons you mentioned. 14.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. His defense creates their offense. And to your point, he to me is like the Larry Bird of that team. Yeah, there are other great players around him, but it starts and ends with him. And we saw Calais Campbell in person. That boy good.
Aaron has no other great players around him.
Rookie
Todd Gurley.
Offensive player of the year, I think, outside of defensive player of the year. I think the rookie offensive race is probably going to be the most competitive player award race. Alvin Kamara,
I don't know.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
Dev is saying,
I think in a way, I think it's Alvin Kamara.
Why?
Alvin Kamara.
Far and away, why?
Because he almost ran for 1,000 yards. With someone else on the team running for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
800 yards receiving, and he led rookies in touchdowns, period.
I agree with you.
He changed the whole dynamic.
Exactly. We talked about it. Alvin Kamara, I think, is flat out them and their defensive rookies are the reason why, and I know I'm getting ahead of here. I think there's the reason why and I said it before, the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Alvin Kamara, that Joker role, he brought balance back to that New Orleans offense, and he has just as many total yards from scrimmage as Kareem Hunt, but in far fewer touches. 200 touches, to be exact, is how many touches Kamara had. Kareem Hunt, 350 touches. He was a workhorse, and
he fell off down the stretch.
And he fell off down the stretch.
Well, he didn't fall off down the stretch. The Kansas City Chiefs fell off down the stretch. A lot of that shit wasn't because of his fault.
He got the touches though.
So, but I think Kamara should win it.
Should?
No, I think he should win it.
Okay.
I think he will win it.
Okay.
I just think Kareem Hunt, if he was in New Orleans, it would be the same thing. It would be Kareem Hunt. It wouldn't be Kamara. You understand what I'm saying?
We can't play checkers.
All I'm saying it wasn't his fault. Like Kev, it was definitely the coach's fault.
I think it's Kamara. You guys kind of stole my thunder, but yeah, almost 120 touches less, and he was more consistent throughout the season. Kareem Hunt came on hot early. He was that dude, and then halfway through the season, yes, they faltered, but it was a lot because the Chiefs couldn't run the football, not because they didn't.
Because high school offenses don't work in the NFL after week 4.
Which is fine, but there's another guy out there that was more productive, more efficient than he was, and he plays in New Orleans.
I would say, though, my should be actually was Deshaun Watson.
There you go.
Deshaun Watson should be the offensive rookie.
He would have ran away with it.
No, he shouldn't.
It wasn't for the AC.
He shouldn't be. You got to do it. He didn't do it.
He did do it. He did do it.
His ACL got shot.
But I agree,
Like
Kamar will be Ricky. You though, Les, you feel like it should be Kareem Hunt.
I just felt like he was the hog. He started off strong, but because he wasn't splitting carries in the backfield with Mark Ingram and had somebody like that, because he had Sean Payton scheming the way he's getting the ball and becoming the dominant run team that they are now, that leads them to, I picked them to win the Super Bowl also. I feel like
I didn't say I picked him to win. I just said they getting there.
I picked him to win. That's why I said Kareem Hunt, because he was the hog for the team.
You mean Andy Reid's not a good
Schemer?
Right.
schemer?
What?
Exactly.
Brian Westbrook would disagree with you.
Let's not do that. We already lost. Let's not go there.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Whatever.
Who should be and who will be your Defensive Rookie of the Year, Kev?
It's the same person,
Yep.
Marshawn Lattimore.
I agree with you.
Defense back to the dirty, and if he can play in these 3-4 games in the playoffs like he's played all season, I agree with you, Ken. New Orleans is gonna be in the Super Bowl.
Red O.
Marshawn.
All the way around?
Yeah.
Is it Marshawn all the way around?
Yes, sir.
Is it Marshawn all the way around?
What's his name deserved a shot? What's my man name in Cincinnati?
Cincinnati.
I actually had
Cincinnati?
Tre'Davious White as possibly.
The corner out of Buffalo?
Yeah,
I
because he balled too.
I give a shout out to Myles Garrett just because he only played.
Miles
11
Garrett,
games.
you know what? He
Actually,
flashed.
my man, I can't think of his name. My man in Cincinnati outplayed Myles Garrett. He got, I want to say 11 sacks.
Who are you talking about, Omar?
That's a rookie defensive player in Cincinnati. Y'all should know. Y'all, it's in your division. Kevin's in your division.
It wasn't that defense we was worried about.
Yeah, they only got one kid playing in there.
Somebody help
It don't
Omar
matter.
out.
Let's keep going. Comeback player of the year.
And comeback player of the year. Who should be? Who will it be?
Jared Goff.
Really? Jared Goff.
Hell yeah.
Jared Goff?
Yeah.
It was run him out the league last year.
Last year, 1,000 yards passing.
No.
5 touchdowns.
What?
1,000 yards passing. 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 0-7 as a starter. But this year, 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 7 picks.
But do robots count?
11-4 record. Doesn't matter.
He's a robot.
Peyton Manning was a robot.
Nah. He's literally a robot. Like he's Vicky from Small Wonder, is what I'm saying.
Oh, my God.
Sean McVay is pulling the strings on that puppet.
He was ready to run the fuck out of town.
Kevin?
No, I'm going even deeper than that. My comeback player of the year is the guy who backed up Jared Goff last year. It's Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
He's my shit.
Look at this. We've seen rookies have bad years. Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, bad years and bounce back. Case Keenum was one of those guys that we added to the list that shouldn't have a job over Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
And he very well could be playing in the Super Bowl in his home stadium this year.
Mm-hmm.
But no one saw this coming.
I agree with you. Case Keenum.
I had Case Keenum.
Yeah.
I almost put Todd Gurley in there too, because he
He's
went
up
from
there.
1,100 yards to 2,100
He
total yards.
stopped eating them Carl's Jr. burgers.
He was
all right.
third on my list.
Carl Lawson.
Carl Lawson out of Auburn. Wow, Omar, you did your research,
I had
huh?
to turn my phone back on.
All right, it's time for get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Dad, take it away.
Shit.
Speak from your heart, baby.
So
When you breathe
Let
that
me-
deeply.
let me just get the name out there first. His name is Dean Pease. And I'm gonna start like this.
9 and 7.
Shut the fuck up. Once upon a time,
Mike, can you just put the camera on Kevin while Evan's talking, please?
once upon a time, in the not so distant past, the Ravens were believed to have a top 5 defense in the league. Ravens were leading the league in turnovers, interceptions, and in turnover ratio, which is a very big stat. Pitching 3 shutouts this season. The last team to do that was the 2003 Patriots, who won the Super Bowl that year, actually. And there's only been 5 teams to do it in the last 30 years. 3 out of the last 4 won the Super Bowl. Like I mentioned, the Patriots, no 3.
Did they make the playoffs, all those teams?
Can you please shut the fuck up? It's your non-team having ass. You don't get to talk right now.
Wait, what team does DMP?
Shut the fuck up.
Asking.
So I want to take it back even further.
Oh,
Last Christmas,
He going generational.
the much maligned Joe Flacco, who's always shitted on, drove the Ravens down to take the lead on a Christmas Day game to win the division. Went up and took the lead. There was 1:12 left. We allowed them to march, 90 yards. And they won on the last second reach. Then we go back to a Sunday. This year, Sunday night game, national television. Top 5 defense in the league. Ravens can't score. Their offense is shitty. Dropped 38 points.
38.
In Pittsburgh.
The enemy.
Lose by 39. Lose by 1. 39 to 38.
They must suck.
Your team is the Bears.
And we beat both of y'all.
And it doesn't matter.
It does.
No,
because
it
we're
does not.
both sitting at home.
No.
Let's go.
And then we go to this
Mr.
abomination.
Yes.
This last Sunday. With 2 minutes and 40 seconds, the Ravens were up 3 points to get into the playoffs. Punted the ball. The ball actually bounced off one of the...
Sure did. Off the helmet.
Off the helmet. Ravens almost recovered the fumble. It went out of bounds at the 10-yard line. They had 90 yards to go.
There's that number again, 90.
90 yards.
Shit.
At home, yo.
Oh shit!
The crib, yo.
90 yards to go. We get a 3rd and long. Okay. Then there's a phantom PI call. We actually get an interception on the play. No worries. We still stopping them. We get to 4th and 12.
Let's talk about defense strategy.
Defensive strategy.
Is that what we doing?
We had been playing man the entire drive. And we had success. We were stopping them. We actually had a sack. And let him go, and he got a first down. But on the last play, 4th and 12, we decided to run zone. Something we don't do very well. Because we have the Hogs to run man. And what happens? What happens, Kenyon?
83 from Cincinnati.
Tyler Boyd.
What's his name?
Tyler Boyd got loose because skinny dreadhead, player number 3, because they got like 3 players that all look exactly the same, dreads and skinny. He didn't know how to play zone coverage, and he was looking at the wrong receiver, and then took a terrible angle to tackle Mr. Boyd, and then the unthinkable happened.
They fucking scored. And went up by 4. And then it's on our offense, who hasn't been able to do anything. Oh, by the way, offense, who couldn't do shit, fought back to take the lead. This world beater defense was a fucking sham, and we've been talking about Dean Pease calling bullshit all season. Never knew why we went zone in certain areas, so for that, actually, you are fucking gone. You're retired. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, Dean Pease. Bye.
Because you know who you bringing back.
Yeah, we bring
Hey,
back
Chucky
Ghana.
P.
You announced you retiring 4 days before this bullshit. Like, come on, yo.
Yo, the only difference between the Bears and the Ravens is we weren't disappointed on week 16.
No. It's a lot of difference.
No.
We just don't have enough time.
We didn't know. I don't have the pain you have because I realized we weren't going to the playoffs.
Well, speaking of the playoffs, let's get to this year's NFL playoffs.
Man, fuck these playoffs.
On Saturday, we will start with the wild card games. We have in the morning wild card matchup, or the early day matchup, we've got the Tennessee Titans going against the Kansas City Chiefs, and then Saturday evening, for the first time in how many years? 20 years? 18 years. First time in 18 years, there will be a playoff game in the city of Los Angeles. The Atlanta Falcons.
I'm sorry.
I'm about to say that.
I was looking at something else.
Oh.
18 years was for the Bills. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that was Sunday. I think it's like 20 years.
It's more than that.
I think it's more than 20.
It's
Yeah.
like 94 or something.
94, 93.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 94 years. So closer to
like 1993.
23, 24.
23, 24 years. We've got the Atlanta Falcons against the Los Angeles Rams. And then on Sunday in the wild cards matchups, we have, as Devin mentioned, we've got the Buffalo Bills going against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the most competitive matchup, at least on paper, it will be the Carolina Panthers versus the New Orleans Saints. What I want to do first, and this is becoming a league ambassador tradition, a 32 Kings Road tradition. One reason why Team A will win the Super Bowl and one reason why they will not. We will start with the teams most likely not to do it. And so we'll start with the Tennessee Titans. This ought to be fun. Kevin, give me one reason why the Tennessee Titans can win it all.
Shit, I was struggling to give you a reason why they could win Saturday. They could win it all because they have a dynamic threat in the passing game, running game. Mariota doesn't get hurt. He somehow is accurate, doesn't turn the ball over, and everyone else doesn't show up for the next 4 weeks of football. That's how they can win it.
And give me one reason why they won't.
They won't win it because they're playing in Kansas City and it's cold as fuck.
Red O, give me one reason why the Tennessee Titans can win it all.
Because Santa Claus does exist.
And give me one reason why they will not.
Because Santa Claus. They're just not good enough. Their coaching staff ain't good enough.
Dev.
Team not good enough.
Well, everyone in the AFC gets in a plane crash, and they just by default go to the Super Bowl.
That's very morbid.
No
That's
hope.
the only reason.
And one reason why they won't?
Because they shouldn't even fucking be there.
Who should be there, Devin?
Not them.
Les.
What team?
There's no way they win.
You
We
can't
gotta
even.
no.
You gotta give me a reason.
No. I don't know. Mariota turns into Tom Brady.
You couldn't
I
even
don't know.
say.
Yeah, I don't know. There's no reason Tennessee can win.
And one reason why they can? Not. Or they won't.
Because they suck.
'Cause they suck?
Because their offense.
They
and
don't
defense.
suck. They're in the playoffs. But
I said cold weather football. They play smash mouth malarkey football. It's really cold. Check the maps. They might be able to pull it out for that reason. They're not though, because Mike Mularkey is a terrible game manager. He went to the Andy Reid School of Game Management, and Mariota has regressed this year. Actually, I'm really surprised that they actually made.
they need to
the
get
playoffs.
that. There should have been a firing in Tennessee. There definitely should have been a firing in Tennessee.
No. Kansas City, Kevin, give me one reason why they can do it and one reason why they cannot.
Because we saw week 1 of this season what the ceiling is for the Kansas City Chiefs. We know what they can do.
Yes.
They can run the ball. Alex Smith can take shots downfield. That defense can somehow get out of its own way. They have the pieces to do it. Why they won't do it is because the piece that's going to hold them back is on the sideline holding a clipboard calling the plays.
Junior Blue.
Again, we've seen this movie before.
They have offensive weapons. They show explosiveness, but like you said, they won't because Andy Reid's going to call 3 timeouts in the third quarter.
Dad?
Every single fucking thing that Kevin said.
Omar.
They are capable of offensive explosions, not unlike, but like every great team, they can score 30 points on you.
Yeah.
But Andy Reid is their coach.
So we got 3 of the same thing.
Yeah.
And Alex Smith is the quarterback.
So I won't go the Andy Reid route. What I'll say is their defense really
It's
they haven't played complementary football. They haven't played Kansas City, their biggest problem and actually why they went into that slump, they haven't played a complete game all year. Even when they were 5-0, it was just because they were really on offensively. But defensively, they have not been there, and I think that's the reason why. I think we're all on the same page in terms of their ability. Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, they can make big plays. They can be explosive. Buffalo Bills, Dad. Give me one reason, just one, why they can do it.
Because it's been 18 fucking
And Donald Trump is president.
Anything is possible.
And one reason why they won't.
Because they can't fucking score.
Redo.
You know what I have in my notes? In parentheses, one word.
What?
Nope. Not at all.
Kevin.
The Bills better win the fucking Super Bowl. You know what I sacrificed that night so they could get to the playoff? Fuck out of here. But they won't because, as Devin said, they can't score, and they're the Bills, and they're honestly just happy to be there.
Truthfully, I am rooting for them because they're so happy to be in.
I'm confused.
Of all the money they have donated to charity, Andy Dalton's charity.
Oh, yes. Yes.
They trying to put that fool in their Ring of Honor.
That's pretty funny.
To me, that's awesome.
Circle the wagons. The magic of Chris Berman. He's retired. He lost his wife. Maybe they've got some juju.
God,
Bills Mafia will will them.
Bills.
Super Bowl.
Get out of here with that shit.
The reasons why they won't are all of the reasons. Everything else. That's why they won't. Jacksonville Jaguars. Red O. Give me one reason why they
It's gonna be
can.
unanimous.
Defense.
Yeah. I think. Is it the same thing across the board? We can save some time here.
Yes.
Ask me why they can't.
Why can't they?
Somebody named Blake.
Man, they are shitting on Blake Bortles.
Openly.
Across the league.
Openly. Which is
Players
insane.
who are about to play him are shitting
on him.
NFL analysts who no longer play.
It's unprecedented. I've never seen somebody who's still playing in the league being openly shitted on by current players.
Trent Dilfer is offended.
Which is crazy.
And was way better
here's the thing, right? Because I think there are a few teams.
Which is crazy.
There are a few teams in the playoffs that their quarterbacks are going to be the reason why, they probably can't win. Specifically with Blake Bortles, to this point that you guys are bringing up, I think it's confidence. It's already in his head, you're going to suck. Everybody thinks that you suck. And I think as much as anything else, that's going to be the problem.
Wide receivers can't wait till free agency so we can get out of here.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me one reason why they can win it, Junior Blue, and one reason why they will not.
Because they're a good team, explosive offense. That Ben Roethlisberger versus the Jaguars 5 INT game can pop back up at any time.
Are you saying specifically about going against Jacksonville, or just the fact that he could have a bad game?
He can have a game like that.
You don't trust Ben Roethlisberger?
He has those games in him.
Dad?
Same reasons why they can and experience. The reason why they can't is because they don't have that sideline-to-sideline linebacker.
You're going to miss Mr. Shazier, who, by the way, I think it was reported today that he's starting to get feeling in his legs. So, that's what's up. Redo.
Offensive firepower is why they can win. Why they can is they can't beat the Patriots.
Kev?
Because they will win because they have the best roster, both sides of the ball, up and down in NFL. They won't because Donald Trump sits in the Patriots box often, and they'll be sure to get that boy Tom Brady back into the Super Bowl.
I said the emergence of Juju Smith. I think that is going to be something because now they're starting to get Martavis Bryant. This injury to Antonio Brown, I think, was a blessing in disguise. They're getting Martavis Bryant more involved. Juju is a legitimate threat.
You're a little happy about that.
I don't know. I don't know how you're going to stop them. The thing that I think could potentially stop them and what they have to watch out for is the same thing that I think crept up against them last year against New England, and that's an in-game injury. I think if there's an injury to Le'Veon, or if Antonio Brown is not all the way healthy, I think that could be a problem going up against the Patriots. We will stop with the Patriots. Give me one reason why they can win it and one reason why they can't, Redo.
It's the Patriots, dummy. Shit.
And one reason why they can't?
Slow defense.
Okay. Dad?
Bill Belichick is why they will.
It's the Patriots, dummy.
Why they won't? Tom Brady is 40 and it's cold.
Junior Blue?
Basically Patriots, but if you get pressure on them, they can lose.
I don't think that they're going to be able to score with Pittsburgh. I think that would be the reason why. To you guys' point, the experience and everything, I think it's the Patriots. But Pittsburgh's offense, I think, they won't be able to keep pace with them. Kev?
They will because this is America, and they won't because I think this is one of the least talented Patriot teams that we've seen in some time.
Ken, I think you were just 1 year off on your Tom Brady.
Next year?
Yeah.
Next year.
You know why? I didn't feel anything at 40. The world
41.
The world changed at 41.
41?
And that's real shit.
Let's move to the NFC. One reason why they can win it, the Los Angeles Rams, I say Todd Gurley. I think if Todd Gurley is an MVP candidate, he can be a chess piece that every kid who loves John Madden, their hero, Sean McVay, I think that would be a piece for Sean McVay to manipulate. But then the reason why they won't is because of Jared Goff, specifically pressure. I think the pressure of the moment, this will be unlike anything that he's ever experienced. And I don't care that McVay is in his ear giving him the play up until the last second. He's going to see ghost on the field, and he's the one that's playing, and I think that'll be the problem. Junior Blue.
I say Aaron Donald can wreck another team's offense, and I think they'll lose because inexperience. They're all young.
Dad.
My answer is the same for both. Young and dumb. They don't know no better. Get in there and wreck shop. They don't know no better. Don't know what the fuck to do.
Have we seen a young and dumb run, though, in the NFL?
Not in a long time.
I don't know that we've seen that. Like, I'm trying
Seattle.
to think.
Just about Seattle.
Seattle's young and dumb?
Yeah. What I wrote down is for to why they're going to win it. Youth, excitement, girly, Donald, creativity.
But that
The reason why they won't win, youth.
Yeah, that defense, but again, those kind of, this was the point I made when I talked about Philadelphia a few weeks back. I think you've got to, like, Seattle was young and dumb, but that's one of the best defenses we'd seen. I think you've got to have, like, an elite talent somewhere.
They were talented up and down the defense. It wasn't just one player.
Kev.
Yeah, I agree. One of the same reasons I said for Pittsburgh. I think they have one of the better rosters. Complete team, both sides of the ball. But again, I agree. I think the moment may be too big for them right now. They may be a year, maybe 2 years away.
I don't think they get past Atlanta still.
Atlanta Falcons. One reason why they can win it, Redo. One reason why they will not.
Same reason why is for both. Because it's the same team that went to the Super Bowl last year. That's
and because you picked them to win the Super Bowl.
7 names, no games as I run it down the line. We got Ken put 100 on the tees with the streak for the cash. ESPN. Steph Curry with the shot.
I think they couldn't win it because it would
He's
only
more
be
like
odd
Seth,
misfortune.
but he's all we got.
Last in picks, but then gets the Super Bowl, right? They won't because their chance was last year. I think they're snake bitten and they don't have that same edge that could get them over a team like New Orleans or Minnesota.
They will win it because of that bitter taste from last year.
That's what I said.
They will not because of Sark.
Cuddy Sark.
That's why they won't win. I mean, he's literally calling plays that Julio Jones doesn't like.
Yikes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I think they'll.
That's why
that shit goes away in the playoffs.
The New Orleans Saints. They're gonna win it because of balance. Drew Brees' motivation. They won't win it because they got to play outdoors, and it's cold.
It's so cold.
Kevin.
In the D.
Hey, touche. You hit the nail right on the head. Both my reasons.
Redo.
I literally just wrote down balance. That's why they'll win because there's not another team in the league that is as good as they are on both sides of the ball. Plus, they have the experience of the coach and the quarterback.
Yep.
The problem is they're very good on defense. They're not great. And they're very good on offense. They're not great. So there's a team to me that can beat them because they'll be great on that day.
We know who that is, who he thinks it is. They will win, like you said, because of balance. And even though they've been heavy on the run and leaning on that, they do have a quarterback that can muster up something to get them over the hump. The reason why they will not is because they won't get the chance to play in a dome every game, like you said.
Junior Blue.
Basically, they go ground and pound and then have Drew Brees still in their back pocket.
Yep.
And I think that's why they can win. They'll lose because I still don't trust their defense. And they could play in the dome the whole way to the Super Bowl.
Carolina Panthers. My reason why they can win it is the reason why they won't win it, and his name is Cam Newton.
Ditto.
Yeah.
You can skip me.
I third that.
Cam Newton. Kev?
Cameron Jarrell Newton.
Is that his middle name?
The gift and the curse.
You know what? I think they can win it because of Cam Newton, but they won't win it because of Jarrell.
Let's move on.
Minnesota Vikings, Dad.
Hey, look, they will win it because they probably have, if not the best, the second best cornerback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
With probably the second or third best defensive lineman in the league.
Yep.
They will not win it because the comeback player of the year potentially might have a relapse.
Yeah. Redo?
For me, it's the same thing as New Orleans. It's balance.
Yeah.
Their defense is, UCLA stand up. They are great on defense. But offense is the reason why they won't win is because of it's one fucking name. It's Case Keenum. I don't believe in him. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are.
Specifically, again, like I said, few teams, quarterbacks is the issue. With Case Keenum, I just think it's going to be jitters.
He got to show
pressure. Yeah, it's just going to be the pressure of the moment. Junior Blue.
Basically the same thing. I mean, their defense is one of the best, and the reason they won't, the real Case Keenum stands up.
Kev?
Yeah, they have to have balance on offense. If they ask Case Keenum to do too much, it's disaster.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's move on.
I said home field advantage. Home field advantage.
For one
those
game,
fans
it doesn't matter.
Those fans in Philly,
There's only one way they win.
they're gonna be. Which way is that?
Wentz comes back.
Oh Lord,
No, it's not happening.
give me your way. How can Philly do it?
I couldn't, yo. I couldn't think of one way. On
They are the number one seed. You came up with a way for Buffalo.
They were number 1 seed 4 weeks ago, though.
Listen, I came up with Buffalo because them bitches owe us. I can't. I saw them play, unless, sorry, I saw them play against the Raiders, and I know it's just one regular season game, but they just don't have it. They lost that most important piece. They're going to get bounced the first game they got.
Dad.
Nah.
Dilly.
Dilly. Junior Blue, you ain't got a reason?
Hey, their defense dominates. If their defense dominates and is able to stop New Orleans, able to stop the Rams,
Foles.
maybe Nick Foles can have another 7 touchdown game. He's done it before.
Who is
Back-to-back weeks, though?
I mean, I'm coming up with a reason for a team to win who lost an MVP candidate.
I think home field
That
advantage would be more of a reason than I think that
shit ain't gonna matter.
that shit- for real. All right, before we get out of here, let's get to our final sort of rundown of how we think the playoffs are going to turn out. Real quick this week, is there anybody in here that's got an upset happening for any of the games this weekend?
Upset meaning that
The lower seed beats
seed?
the lower seed beats the higher seed. I've got the Falcons. That's the only one.
Yeah, I have the Falcons.
Yeah, but I've always had the Falcons. So
I had
it's
the
like-
Rams winning that.
I have the Falcons beating the
Rams or Falcons, Kev?
Rams.
Okay, so Rams, the Falcons. Okay, but other than that, it's chalk,
Kansas,
right?
Jacksonville, New Orleans.
All right, so give us how the playoffs are going to turn out officially for you, Kevin.
Not watching any of it, but I can give you my Super Bowl pick.
Yes.
I think the Saints. I'm feeling a little bit better on the Saints now. I think they could beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Saints over the Patriots. Redo, you
I'm
still?
keeping mine the same.
Falcons over the
Patriots.
in a rematch.
Yep.
Dad,
unprecedented home team plays in the Super Bowl.
you think Minnesota's going to do it?
I think it's.
I
think it's Minnesota versus the Saints.
If I'm wrong, I hope that's what it is.
And they've played this year, and we saw what happened.
Yeah,
It's
the
never
Saints
been done.
their Saints are a different team than they were when they played them week 2.
Let's see.
They had
though.
Adrian Peterson
They
playing.
might open for real. They might
It's
open
never
up
been
the
done,
dome.
right? The home team has never
No,
played.
team's never.
No,
and
it's never happened.
I think the Steelers get revenge. They just have too much offense.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to be playing.
Yeah.
And my heart says the team in purple.
Aw. Okay.
Fuck you.
Junior Blue.
I still have the Saints over the Steelers.
And I've got the Steelers over the Saints.
Hashtag NBA vote Kyle Kuzma.
All right, let's wrap up this episode here. This has been 32 Kings Road, a playoff episode. Please follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. Check out our website, theleagueam.com. Also, check out our YouTube channel, League Ambassadors. We will see you next week. Cheerio.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
7 days, no games as I run it down the line. We got Kenny Ken put 100 on a tees with the streak for the cash. ESPN. Seth Curry with the shot. The prodigy. In reality, he's more like Seth, but he's all we got. Up next is Gentleman Jack, better known as Junior Blue. We told him not to do it anyway, but he did what he do. To his right is Devin, that dude, Eldad or Dirt Ass Dan. Just don't ask him a question, cause then he'll answer your question with another question, and then he'll add another question on top of that question. Damn. And I'm Red O, the Buck Wild Problem Child.
Flow Butter, aka John Cutter.
It's the league ambassadors, and we playing to win. At the 2-yard line, and make no mistake, we running it in.